Ever wondered why, despite the fervor of presidential elections, the turnout for local and state elections often trails behind? It's easy to get caught up in the national narrative, but the truth is that the decisions made closer to home often have the most immediate impact on our lives. From the schools we attend to the roads we use, local governance shapes our daily experience. This episode focuses on congressional, local, and state elections. Did you know that in some local elections, a single vote can swing the outcome? Yes, your vote holds immense power. We'll guide you through the myriad of elections that await your voice, demystify the process of getting to know your candidates, and arm you with the knowledge to navigate the sea of information and misinformation that accompanies each election cycle. First, let's understand the spectrum of elections beyond the presidency. Congressional elections are critical for determining the legislative direction at the federal level. These elections significantly influence legislative priorities, federal lawmaking, and oversight of federal agencies, impacting every aspect of national governance. Senators vote on federal laws, approve treaties, and confirm presidential appointments, including judges and cabinet members. Each state elects 2 senators, making their roles critical in shaping national legislation and policy. Representatives, on the other hand, introduce and vote on new federal laws, oversee budget appropriations, and have the exclusive power to initiate impeachment proceedings. Representation is based on the population of each state, directly linking constituents' concerns to the legislative process. Local elections elect officials who directly impact community services, education quality, local law enforcement practices, judicial appointments at the local level, and the implementation of state laws at the county level. They play a crucial role in addressing local issues, making decisions on public safety, and allocating budgets for community projects. Mayors oversee city administration, public services, and local policy implementation, directly affecting city living conditions and development. Council members legislate on local matters, manage city budgets, and collaborate with mayors on policy initiatives, influencing local governance and community services. School board members make decisions on educational policies, budget allocations, and school administration, impacting educational standards and student welfare. State attorneys, also known as prosecutors or district attorneys, are elected to serve in specific judicial districts, counties, or parishes, depending on the state's structure. Their role is to represent the government in prosecuting criminal cases. County officials include sheriffs, who oversee law enforcement, clerks, who manage county records, and treasurers, who handle county finances. Local elections can also include local ballot measures or propositions, which allow citizens to directly vote on specific policies or projects in the local community. Moving to state elections, these positions hold significant influence over statewide policies on education funding, environmental regulations, healthcare policies, civil rights, and more. Senators and representatives at the state level draft, debate, and pass state laws, affecting everything from healthcare access to environmental policies within the state. Governors execute state laws, oversee state executive branches, and have veto power over state legislation, playing a key role in state governance and policy directions. State judges interpret laws, ensure justice, and can influence social issues through their rulings on state laws and legal disputes. Note that in some states, judges are elected through popular vote in either partisan or nonpartisan elections, while in others, judges are appointed through a merit-based selection process and may face retention elections where voters decide whether they should remain in office. Other statewide offices, such as the Secretary of State, Attorney General, and State Auditor, also play crucial roles in state governance and have a significant impact on policy and administration at the state level. Lastly, state elections can also include state ballot measures or propositions that give voters the power to enact, change, or repeal laws directly, as well as amend state constitutions, offering a direct form of democracy. The last type of elections is special elections. These are conducted to fill vacancies in elective offices between general elections. Special elections can change the composition of local and state legislative bodies, impacting policy decisions and legislative majorities. These elections, often overlooked, offer a crucial opportunity for voters to influence their representation and the course of governance in their locality or state. Now that you are convinced of the importance of voting and want to participate, the first step is to know when and what elections are happening. Here are 5 options. 1. State and local election websites. Visit your state's official election website for details on dates, registration, and polling locations. Local government sites provide information on community-specific elections. 2. Nonpartisan voter platforms. Resources like vote.org and Ballotpedia offer comprehensive election information, including candidate profiles and ballot measures, tailored to your location. 3. Election notification services. Sign up with nonpartisan groups for reminders on election timelines and absentee ballot deadlines to ensure you're always prepared. 4. Community resources. Local libraries and community centers host informational sessions and candidate forums, providing insights into local elections and issues. And 5. Reputable news and social media. Follow trusted news sources and political analysts for election updates. Candidates' social media platforms are also informative for understanding their positions. The next step is to research candidates and issues. Making informed decisions in elections requires understanding who the candidates are and what issues are at stake. Here are 7 ways to effectively research candidates and issues before casting your vote. 1. Candidate websites and social media. Directly access candidates' official websites and social media profiles for comprehensive insights into their platforms, policies, and campaign promises. These resources often provide detailed information on candidates' stances on critical issues. 2. Nonpartisan voter guides. Look for voter guides provided by nonpartisan organizations. These guides compare candidates' positions side by side on various issues, making it easier to understand where they stand without the influence of party bias. 3. Debates and forums. Watch or listen to debates and public forums where candidates discuss their views and policies. These events are valuable opportunities to see candidates articulate their positions on the issues that matter to you. 4. News outlets and fact-checking sites. Reliable news sources and independent fact-checking websites can offer analysis and debunk misinformation about candidates and ballot measures. They play a crucial role in separating facts from campaign rhetoric. 5. Endorsements. Review endorsements from organizations and individuals you trust or whose values align with yours. Endorsements can provide insight into a candidate's support base and potential policy priorities. 6. Educational and advocacy group materials. Many educational and advocacy groups publish materials on key issues addressed in the election, providing deeper context and highlighting the implications of various policy positions. And last but not least, 7. Direct engagement. If possible, attend town hall meetings, candidate meet and greets, or other events where you can interact with candidates directly or pose questions to understand their perspectives better. Once you're aware of upcoming elections and familiar with the candidates and issues, the next step is to make informed decisions that align with your values and the needs of your community. Here's how to critically evaluate candidates and issues before casting your vote. 1. Evaluate candidates' platforms. Review candidates' official websites and public statements to understand their policy positions and plans. Look for consistency in their messaging and evidence of their commitment to their stated goals. 2. Consider voting records and experience. For incumbents or candidates with public service experience, examine their voting records and past actions in office. This history can provide insight into how they might behave if elected. 3. Analyze endorsements. Endorsements from organizations or individuals can indicate a candidate's alignment with certain issues or values. However, weigh these endorsements critically, considering the endorsing entity's perspectives and motivations. 4. Attend candidate forums and debates. These events offer direct insight into candidates' perspectives, allowing you to assess their knowledge, demeanor, and responsiveness to community concerns. 5. Research ballot measures thoroughly. For propositions and measures, read the full text when possible and consult nonpartisan analyses to understand the potential impacts. Consider both the short-term and long-term consequences of these measures on your community. 6. Seek diverse perspectives. Consult a range of sources, including those with differing viewpoints, to get a well-rounded understanding of the candidates and issues. This can help in identifying any biases or gaps in your initial research. 7. Reflect on your values and priorities. Align your choices with your personal values and the broader implications for your community and country. Consider how each candidate or measure aligns with your vision for the future. And 8. Beware of misinformation. Stay vigilant against misinformation by verifying information through reputable sources and fact-checking websites. Be skeptical of sensational claims and consider the credibility of the sources sharing them. You have done your research, but how do you actually vote? Understanding the voting process is crucial for ensuring your participation in elections is smooth and effective. Here's a breakdown of key steps. 1. Check if you are eligible. Generally, you must be a citizen of the United States, at least 18 years old by election day, and meet your state's residency requirements. Certain states have additional rules regarding voter eligibility, especially concerning individuals with felony convictions or those under guardianship. 2. Register to vote. Check your state's requirements and deadlines for voter registration. You can often register online, at local government offices, or through community organizations hosting registration drives. 3. Know your voting options. Familiarize yourself with the various ways you can vote in your area, including in-person voting on election day, early voting, and absentee or mail-in voting. Each method has specific deadlines and procedures, so plan accordingly. 4. Find your polling place. If voting in person, locate your designated polling station ahead of time. Check your local election office's website for details, as locations can change between elections. 5. Understand voter ID requirements. Some states require voters to present specific forms of identification at the polls. Know what's required in your state and ensure you have acceptable ID ready if needed. 6. Review your ballot in advance. Many states offer sample ballots online or by mail. Reviewing your ballot beforehand allows you to research candidates and issues, making the voting process quicker and more informed. 7. Prepare for in-person voting. On election day or during early voting periods, plan your visit to avoid peak times if possible. Bring necessary identification, your sample ballot for reference, and any other required items, like a mask or pen. 8. Mail-in and absentee voting. If you're voting by mail, request your ballot well in advance of the deadline. Follow all instructions for completing and returning your ballot, paying close attention to signature and witness requirements, to ensure your vote is counted. 9. Stay informed of election changes, especially in times of uncertainty. Election procedures can change. Keep up with any updates from your local election office to avoid surprises. And 10. Verify your vote. After submitting your vote, use online tools provided by your state or local election office to confirm your ballot has been received and counted. Voting in every election, from presidential to local, is a powerful tool for shaping the policies and leadership that directly impact our lives. Here's our challenge to you. Use what you've learned for the November 2024 elections. Whether or not you're voting in the presidential race, participate in the other critical elections happening around you. Your vote matters more than you might think.